are advising me to do so that you can know as the commission what is it that is I couldn't write that, because if I wrote that, that would mean that I would be breaching confidentiality that these people contacted me and made reports based on confidentiality arising from their security. So that is the issue that I have. That's the explanation that I can give.
Maybe then lastly about that, can we then agree that until that list and the detail of the issues that they have raised with you and the dates when they raised it,
Yes.
Until all of that is properly placed before the commission, we don't have any relevant evidence about complaints of SAPS members on which you relied to make the decision to disband the PKTT? I'm not sure if I'm articulate enough that you understood what I'm saying.
You're articulate, I've understood. I will take advice. I will then test again whether the commission does accept that, and I'll proceed on those bases as advised.
All right. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Mr. Minister, if you are able to answer, the 8 that you have, the list
Yes.
that you have, when would those people have raised those issues? When did they raise those issues with you?
They exactly fall in the category of 71, where I say during the latter part or half of 2024. That is after we got appointed, shortly after.
So all of them is before your decision?
Yes.
Before the 29th of December?
Yes. They called, others went up to an extent of requesting private meetings or private confidential meetings. And I did hold such meetings with them.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister.
Minister, in your disbandment letter, do you mention these complaints and these human rights violations? Do you say in your disbandment letter, I've decided that the PKTT should be disestablished because I have received complaints, some of which include allegations of human rights abuses?
Now, in the letter, I didn't include details. I think on all 3 directives that I issued, except maybe in a very high level kind of thing. But when I wrote this, I did not particularly indicate any detail. It was just high level. And I was relying that
even at a high level, surely you can say, I have serious concerns about human rights violations being perpetrated by the PKTT. I no longer think this group should exist because of that reason.
Yes, I could, but I didn't. Because if I could go further, when I received all of this, I think in January or just before the end of the year, somewhere there, I had a discussion with the Special Advisor Advocate Pikuli to say, look, there are matters here of a security nature, very sensitive. In order to deal with them, no, I said, I'm not in a position to go to the National Commissioner to report these matters or to any other official. They have been raised with me on a confidential basis based on security. I think that we may need to consider a ministerial inquiry. That's how I put it when we're discussing with Advocate Pikoli in confidence. We went up to the extent of coining some names of such people. That is the gravity, the extent of gravity of those complaints in that category of 8 people. But we got overtaken by events. We didn't get to that particular stage. But it was such that these are not matters that you can just call an official and say, sit here, repeat what you told me. They are not that simple. In the first place, a person comes to you in confidence and then say to you, look, I'm afraid, I have fears for my life, but I trust you, I'm going to share with you 1, 2, 3. Then you start. At the end, you go back to what they would have said. You believe it, that, yes, I don't think it would have been advisable for you to do otherwise. You keep this thing.
Minister, I think you have answered me,
Okay.
because otherwise we will take the
Thank
whole
you.
day. We won't get to the end of what we want to get to.
Mchunu.
Sorry, Mr.
Yes,
Still on
Commissioner.
this, can I just check this? Minister, those 8 people that come to you confidentially, they give you their complaints.
Yes.
What did you do with those complaints? And I'm not asking you to, I note that you say you spoke to Mr. Pikoli.
Yes.
Other than that, about these 8 and their allegations, those allegations in particular or complaints, what did you do about them?
As I say, well, I know of one case, possibly, of one of them who wrote to the National Commissioner as well. But I don't know whether, I didn't inquire whether National Commissioner responded or not responded. But what did I do?
Yes.
I discussed with Advocate Pikoli. We resolved that a possible option is an inquiry, because if these things are true, they are quite grave matters, not just of HR, but there are issues there of security, and there are alleged murders in them as well.
Okay. You said to Advocate Pikoli, if these matters are true, right, they are serious. That means you did not verify them. You thought about a ministerial investigation, but you did not verify them, the truthfulness of those allegations or complaints.
I didn't, beyond what they told me and beyond what they then subsequently deposed in their affidavits.
Now, you did not verify them, and yet you took those complaints into account as if they affect in making the decision to disband the PKTT. I have a difficulty with that you didn't, you have this organization or this task team which has been endorsed by your predecessors, which has done work. You said in the morning to Ms. Sillo, you don't disagree where the National Commissioner says they have done beautiful work, great work. I think you read an excerpt on your statement. You said you don't disagree. You get complaints from 8 people. Maybe they are serious. We don't know. I'm prepared to accept you saying they are of grave seriousness, the allegations. But you don't verify them, and yet you rely on them to make a decision to disband the team. That's I see a problem there about how you got to that decision, that this is a factor I'm going to take into account.
Commissioner, I had no reason, even without verification, to doubt that. But I accept that there would need to be a platform that verifies, but they were serious enough. They were serious enough. And I'm honest with the Commission serious enough, detailed enough, with anecdotes to convince me that indeed they are serious and they need to be processed in a particular way.
I'm prepared to accept on your word that it is serious allegations that were made. I'm prepared to accept that. What I'm unable to accept or to understand is that even before you verify the truthfulness of those very serious allegations, and that in fact they implicate the task team as a team, not individuals in the team, even before you've done that verification for yourself, I do have a difficulty with that.
Well, I would accept that as Commissioner, you may have a difficulty, but from where I sit, listening to these people showing me anecdotes and taking me through that and making references to incidents, in some cases that they were able to verify, like whatever case number where they apply, they caused me to really feel that it would be irresponsible of me not to take them serious. And I do admit here that they did influence me, rightly or wrongly, as the Commissioner says, to accept them, that I would be able to take that risk. And some of my statements to the lawyers, I did write that, and that it was a risky exercise. There are, just outside the actual instances where you receive a verbal report from somebody, but it is strong enough for you to proceed in a particular way. And it was on those bases that I took them seriously, their numbers, their names, not necessarily writing everything in terms of notes, and searched for a particular platform. I can simply say, or go on to say, I couldn't engage National Commissioner on these matters for a reason. That it was, I considered it quite beyond that in terms of how it would affect him and people under him to do that. So I preferred not to go on at all with them. I just wanted to make sure that they are with me. I don't take any chance about them, because National Commissioner is a human being. He could find himself relating it to another official who might have been affected by what they are saying, at least in terms of allegations. And then the whole thing gets contaminated in that particular way.
All right. I have a separate difficulty with that last part, but let me ask, out of your paragraph 71, the civil society actors that you refer to as your sources of complaints, is that a reference to Miss Mary DeHaas?
Mary DeHaas.
Okay, that's the civil society actors you refer to. We've established this SAPS members, and then Parliament. You said from Parliament.
Yes.
What is that? What are you referring to?
Well, just to exhaust that list, Mashale and Ms. Becker, who publicized a lot of,
yes,
made a lot of allegations. Then continue to what you are looking for. To say, let me check.
You don't discuss any members of Parliament
yes.
or anything coming out of Parliament.
There is a member of Parliament who wrote to us in the ministry and his matter was then processed in a particular way. I was referring to that, a member of parliament.
Adams, I think we've heard the name Adams
Yes.
here. Is that where you say parliament, you actually mean
National
a
Assembly.
member of parliament?
A member of parliament.
Not parliament itself.
No, no,
Because
no.
the way you've said it here, you say, I received a series of complaints from parliament.
It's a typo. It
So
meant
it should
a
have been
member.
a member of parliament.
Yes.
And that would be
Accept.
Mr. Adams.
Accepted.
Okay, so you took that into account as well,
Accepted.
what he got to say.
Yes.
Okay, and then members of the public, you've mentioned Ms. Mashale and I think Ms.
Ms.
Berger.
Berger.
That's what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Having then addressed the complaint